What is up, guys? We're doing another top 10 video today, and the easiest champions was the idea that popped up most in my last top 10. These are based on how easy they are to have a big impact and do their job well. Even my dad could play these champs and win, but then again, he does have a level 50 farm on Heyday, so you could say he's a pretty hardcore gamer. Let me know if you think I got this right or left someone out, what top 10 I should do next. Like this video if you did, dislike it if you didn't, but let's jump in at number 10. So we'll start this whole thing off with Soraka, the carry me please, I don't want to work for my LP champion. That is a joke anyway, right? You just sit there and press W, heal your ally, and you let them carry you. Well, as much as it is a joke, that is kind of actually true. To have a huge impact on Soraka, all you need to do is press W on an ally and heal them. Sometimes maybe you'll even have to stretch and use your ultimate. They even changed it so you can't miss and heal a minion. It can only target champs now, so it's even harder to mess up. The old Soraka before the rework was even easier, honestly. She was borderline brainless if you remember back to that version of her where she gave mana and health back. Now she does have this skill shot Q which you kind of need to land, plus her silence field that is placed correctly can make a big difference in a fight, but both are not too difficult. Actually, who are we kidding? Even if you miss them, you're still going to heal for a lot and have a big impact, which makes her even easier really. In fights, all you have to do is sit at the back and press W as often as you can. SONA is a kind of similar idea really. One skill shot and the rest are just key presses that auto target for you. When you think of it like that, like press Q and it automatically flies an enemy, W automatically heals an ally, even your E automatically speeds them up. She's super easy. The reason she's at number 9 is more because she has to find that balance between poking with her Q just in range to hit them but not close enough to get killed for it. SONA has one of the lowest base healths in the game and you can get absolutely boned if you step too far forward. Plus her ultimate is a skill shot. It's not quite instant, it's not the longest range ever, and it is possible to screw it up. I mean, it's going to be hard to, but you can completely whiff it and hit nobody. You also have that power chord, I guess, that applies different effects based on the aura you'll have, but we're kind of grasping at straws here because let's be honest, 9 times out of 10 you'll be using it for damage unless you mess it up. So yeah, she's easy to play, but there are a few things that aren't as straightforward as you think. From one of the easiest to kill champions to one of the hardest, RAMMUS is a gigantic pain in the arse to kill and is so simple to play. RAMMUS has no skill shots, he builds full tank and he forces people to kill themselves. He literally just stands there and wants you to hit him. Your taunt is a targeted ability, you can actually hit minions with this one, but that is really hard to do. I would genuinely be impressed if you taunted a minion. You basically use your abilities in the same way every single time no matter what is happening. Not only does that alone make him easy to play, but his abilities aren't even hard to use either. You powerball, you speed into a fight, you taunt someone, you use your W ball curl and ultimate, then just walk around and absorb damage. That is all you can do. It does have a big impact, sure, but there isn't any other way you're really going to use those abilities. Think of Lee Sin, right? There are so many ways to use his kick. That's kind of what makes him difficult to play. You can engage with it, kick people away, kick someone into others, or use it for damage. Well, RAMMUS kind of just like presses R and then walks around doing damage around him. There's not really anything else there. So number 7, the good old bronze god himself, MALPHITE. MALPHITE is very easy but very high impact. That's why he's banned most of the time, especially at lower ranks. I know this sounds weird, but there really isn't much of a difference between a bronze and a diamond MALPHITE. Sure, they might roam better or lane better, but when it comes to a fight, they're still going to fly in with that ultimate and have a big impact. You build practically full tank, you still do good damage, are still very hard to deal with, and it's not really difficult to do any of that. Building full tank means you can get away with mistakes, you aren't likely to die, and it makes trading really easy. Like you just auto and stand there, burn them a little bit, slap the ground a few times. Your Q is targeted, your E is an AoE spell around you, your W is just an active. It's not very important, and your ultimate is almost impossible to miss, let's be honest. That is kind of the only thing you have to kind of think about, I guess, aiming your ultimate, but even then, that is pretty easy, I think. It's hard to mess that up. There is this kind of argument that you need to know when to engage or be decisive engage, and I think that's true, but that's more about the player and the game knowledge. Looking just at the champion, MALPHITE is super easy and high impact. So number 6, the Wonder Boy himself, TARIC, and I wonder if he'll still be here after his rework. Riot have been teasing the rework for months now, so who knows when it is actually going to arrive, but for now, in his current state with his current kit, TARIC is about as simple as it gets. This is actually one of the reasons why he's getting reworked, because there's so little room to do anything with him. You're able to do what he's supposed to do, like stun, heal and stuff, but there's no room to have any more impact. His W shatter is an AoE ability, the same with his ultimate. His stun is targeted, his heal is targeted, nothing about his kit is hard to pull off. What I mean is you can almost have full impact on this guy easily. There's no real room to mess up at all. The reason he's not like higher on here is just because it's mainly about the right time to do things, I guess, and his passive does add a bit more thought. So his passive actually needs him to use spells in a proper rotation to get the most damage out of it, but the problem is you're still going to do this by accident anyway, and it doesn't really have that much of an impact. As I said at the beginning, there might be little parts that are more advanced with the champion, but it's how easy it is to do their job and have a big impact, which TARIC does even without his passive properly. Number 5 is one you might not have expected actually. NUNU is one of the simplest champions. Your Q is just going to eat something and recover health. You apply your W to an ally over and over whenever it's up. You slow people with E or target the enemy AD and slow his attack speed, and then just press R and let it explode. Just like RAMMUS or TARIC really, it's so easy to do what you're supposed to do and you have no skill shots at all. If you think about it in a gank when you're jungling, right, you just run up, you press E, you slow them, and then you auto attack them. There is literally nothing else you can do to increase your chances of killing them. There's no real smart way to use your spells. You just press E, you W an ally, and you run around the fight slapping them. Target selection is one thing you might have to think about, like who do I snowball, who do I blood boil, but honestly that is not difficult to figure out, and the biggest thing is when you have figured that out, it's very easy to execute. So we are now into our top 4, and I want you guys to all guess in the comments who you think these last 4 are and see if you get it right. Master Yi is our 4th one, but I want to explain this properly. Remember, this is all about how easy it is to have a big impact, and honestly you get to a point where you're just going to right click and that is it. Your Alpha Strike is targeted, you just press E and it boosts your damage, same with your ultimate. So actually when you're fighting someone, you press these things once, you right click and it does it all for you. That is what you need to do to have a big impact in the game. To kill people, that is literally all you need to do. There are actually a few more advanced things to Master Yi that make him even better, like your heal can be used as an auto attack reset. You use the heal, you instantly cancel it and it lets you attack straight away again. You can dodge things with your Q, which is sometimes really important, but both of these while boosting your damage are not required to do your job. Just like MALPHITE here, there is a reason he is a god in bronze and super strong. So from one right click champion to another, Warwick is even more about how sick your right click skills are. Master Yi has like other abilities and stuff which help, right? But Warwick doesn't even need that. He literally walks up, presses R, which is targeted, do loads of damage, and then just right click them and chase them until they die. He does have his Q, the heal, which is again targeted, his E, which is permanently on, and his W, which you need to press once. There is only so much you can actually do as Warwick. Like honestly, I'm struggling to think of anything else except go into a fight, ult, and right click them. Your jungling is also so easy. You again just auto attack things to death. The sustain from your passive makes it so straightforward. You cannot die, you stay healthy, and you aren't too slow either. It sounds kind of sad, but I actually don't know what the difference would be if I played him to any of you guys did. With both flash ult, we'd use our W and right click until the enemy died or we died. So a runner-up spot number 2 is going to be Annie, and this is a very similar deal to Master Yi. Yes, there are a few different ways you can do things, there are a few little tricks, but Annie is a burst mage. She has one job, and that's to land her rotation, and that is very, very easy to do. Her combo is literally just stack your passive so it stuns, hit them with your huge AoE tibbers, and then press W, press Q, and job done. Her lane phase is also super easy, one of the highest auto attack ranges in the game. Her Q refunds when you kill someone, you even get half the cooldown back, so every 2 seconds you can last hit with your Q for free. She's one of the champions I always recommend to play at lower ranks because of how simple she is and how easy it is to win a game with her. You literally just need to flash ult in a team fight and hit a few priority targets. You do a huge amount of AoE damage, and that's it. That's all you have to do your job and have a huge impact. So our top spot, the easiest champion in the game, in my opinion, the guy you just spin to win, is gonna be GAREN. His lane phase is incredibly easy to start with. You run at people with your Q, you spin with your E, and then once you've taken some damage, you'll just regen it back with your passive. That is actually one of the bigger things that made me put him at number 1. No matter how much you screw up, no matter how badly you play or how badly you trade, you are never really punished because you'll regen the health back anyway. Kit wise, like his W is just an active to use when fighting, Q you run up to someone, E is an active to do damage and ultimate to finish someone off. Like, he doesn't even need to right click. That is the funny thing. Literally just presses E and follows someone around. It's also partly to do with his build. You get really tanky while still doing a decent amount of damage. It's very, very low risk and it's so hard to screw it up, honestly. Even if you do manage to mess it up, even if you take a bad fight, you're not likely to die. You run away and then you just heal back up and try again. In team fights, you're going to do a good amount of damage just by spinning. You can run at people with your Q and surprise them with your ultimate finisher. It's so easy to have an impact and so easy to do your job. So what do you guys think? Did I get it right? Did I leave someone out? Let me know in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, but for now, let's go to the robots.